what I call the fastest path to cash. And more importantly, a really simple methodology to go and get clients. So, Hale, good to have you here. Rajesh, Jason, Chris, a whole bunch of people joining us on the Zooms. If you are seeing me live somewhere being broadcast or live stream right now, just go to businessunleashedlive.com, businessunleashedlive.com. You can jump in there and you can actually interact with me in person. We've got a whole bunch of people jumping us or joining us here as we go along this training. So to me, I love the idea of the fastest path to cash or the fastest path to a client, just as much as anybody does. Like, you know, if we can go from zero to bank money in bank and brand new client, then I'm all in, right? Like most people are. So that's essentially what I'm going to be covering today. I'm going to answer your questions here. If you've got some questions here on the live coaching call here, I want to be able to answer your questions. I want to kind of take this framework and see if we can apply these two models or these two ideas directly to what you're doing right now, right? Directly to what you're doing right now in terms of your business. So, you know, why the fastest path to cash, right? Essentially, a lot of people, you know, sit there and say, hey, I need to get a client, and ultimately I want to put cash in bank, right? And to do that, there is a process that you need to go through. And it's really weird. We kind of all know the process, but for some reason, there are bits and pieces that we get stuck in, right? And so what I want to do is kind of eliminate the stuckness and just keep the focus really basic and really simple, because if you follow the methodology, then you'll dramatically improve the chances of doing the very thing that you want to do, and that is to put cash in bank or put a client. Because every single person who you're here with me live now, or if you're watching this training or watching replay, all of you know how to generate a client. You know how to get a customer, right? You've either got a customer, you've worked before, you've sold your value, you know how to get the client. Where people get really caught up in, and I think the essence of where people get caught up is the clarity of outcomes, or the fear of being able to deliver an actual result, an outcome. This becomes something that kind of holds people back a little bit. This also speaks to creating a discourse or connect with the clarity of the offer that you're making, right? This generally creates that type of scenario. So if we were to kind of simplify the process, and if we were to eliminate all the stuff that we think we know, and if we take out all our bright and shiny objects, and we just focused on the exact thing that is going to get us paid, cash in bank, right? So a friend of mine who ran a very large software company called Lead Pages, which was very, very successful, grew massively. He then went on to buy Drip, another an email marketing automation and CRM service, and built that into a very successful business as well. There's a guy called Clay Collins. Now, he had a coach and a mentor, and I was fortunate enough that Clay and I were speaking at a conference together, and we got to hang out. And one of the things that we were talking about was like this concept of simplifying, right? Keeping it very, very simple. And I don't know where he got it from, but I think the mentor, I've got a funny idea that this might have come from Dan Sullivan, from Strategic Coach. He talked about this concept of the 5 1s, right? And so essentially the 5 1s are, and this is breaking it down, and I want to break this down for some of you here that are joining me. But the 5 1s essentially is we have one problem that we're going to solve. We are solving one problem, right? So we know what we sell, but we're selling the problem. Then we have one offer. We have one offer to solve that one problem. And then we have one avatar. We have a who that needs that problem solved. So we have one avatar. So one problem, one offer, one avatar. And then we have one conversion method. We have one way to convert the client into our business. And then we have one plan, right? We have one plan. So we have one problem, one offer, one avatar, one conversion method, one plan, the 5 1s, right? Now, most people think that you start from the top and you work your way down. What you want to do is you start from the bottom and work your way back up, right? So, start from the bottom and then bridge in between, okay? So the plan, right? Well, let's keep this plan really simple, right? how many clients do you want to have on board over the next 2 weeks? Let's keep it 14 days, right? If we were to say, let's bring on 1 or 2 clients in the next 14 days, that's 14 days. There are 10 working days in that cycle. And so we want to bring 1 or 2 people on board. Now, if we look at what we sell as a service and what our average sale is, then we should be able to come up with a number of what the revenue is from one particular customer. Now, if they're paying you, let's say, for example, you're offering email marketing service, or you're doing lead generation, Facebook ads, or you're doing AdWords, and you're charging your clients, let's say, a $2,000 management fee per month, and maybe you set up a $2,000 upfront payment for setup and strategy for the client. So what you're asking the client to do is spend $4,000, right, with you up front, right? Or if you want to say, hey, $2,000 down, and then we get started $2,000 a month, you can do it that way. So the client has a value. There is an average value for the client. There's a price point. So if we bring on one client initially, in terms of cash banked, is going to be worth $2,000 to $4,000 in the scenario that I just shared with you, right? 2 clients are going to be worth $4,000 to $8,000 in that scenario. So if we had 14 days to go and get a customer, or to go and get 2 customers, right, that is our plan. And we know that we're roughly selling our service at $2,000 a month, or whatever you decide to sell your service at, whatever price point it is, right? And we want to get 1 or 2 clients. Our earning capacity in that 14-day period, cash banked, is going to be between $2,000 and $4,000, or if you get a deposit up front and you charge a setup fee, that might be $4,000 to $8,000 cash in the next 14 days. That is money banked, money banked. Now, to do that, we need to kind of think, how many conversations do we need to have to actually convert a customer? If we were to keep it to 1 in 4 as an average, my worst case scenario would be 1 in 5, but let's say 1 in 4. So 1 of every 4 people we talk to turns into a sale, right? That means we need to present an idea, or we actually need to have a conversation with 4 people, right? So if we were doing numbers here, 1 sale, right? To create 1 sale, we've got to speak to 4 people. So every 4 people we speak to, we get a sale. And so to get to speak to 4 people, we may need to reach out to 12 people. We might need to reach out to 12 people to get 4 conversations to get 1 sale. Right? So I've worked that backwards, right? So our plan is to engage, or make an offer, right, to engage, right, to 12 people, right? We're going to make an offer to 12 people to engage them to get 1 sale, 1 client. So 12 people are going to have an engagement opportunity, right? And then 4 of those people out of the 12 will probably take the next step and say, yeah, let's have a look at how you help me, right? And of those 4 people that you take through your process, you're going to close 1 deal. That's a plan, right? That's the 1 plan, right? So now we need to go to the top of the chart, and that is the problem piece at the very top. So we're going to speak to the problem, right? So if we're going to be speaking to the problem, what is the number 1 problem that your client has that you fix, right? Now, some people will say leads. They don't have enough leads, and that's the problem. That actually might not be the true problem. The real problem might be not so much leads. It might be qualified appointments. That might be the problem. It might be converting sales. That might be the problem. So the problem might not be the lead bit. You may think it's leads, but the real problem is perhaps a qualified customer, a customer who qualifies, who fits the criteria of a buying customer, right? So, and from there, it may be that they need to convert. What is the methodology? What is the strategy? And the other part is, the problem is having actually, what is the strategy, right? They don't have the right strategy to engage a qualified appointment opportunity to be able to sell this. So what is the actual problem that you're solving, right? The problem, so if we said, okay, there's a lack of leads, but then the real problem is the lack of quality leads. And then the next level down is the lack of appointments from those quality leads, right? And the next level down is the ability to convert, right? So we don't get enough opportunities. They're not qualified, or we don't get enough qualified opportunities. We don't get enough appointments with qualified opportunities, and that is a problem. So if we had a system, so we're now going to craft the offer, right, around the problem. So thinking about it, you've got a framework to solve that problem. So you've got a way in which you solve the problem, right? You know, if we're talking advertising, or we're doing Facebook ads or lead gen, we've got an offer, right? We have a strategy to engage their market in the market. Then we have a mechanism, a process. So we have a system to capture, then to filter, qualify, then to provide responsiveness. So you're answering frequently asked questions, making it easy for the customer to take the next step, the next logical step in the sales process, providing with FAQ. So we have bits and pieces that help them to put them in the right spot. And then we have a mechanism to automate into an appointment, right? And then we have a mechanism to make sure that we help them show up. So that is our framework. So we've got a problem and we've got the framework, so we understand how to solve that problem. And then the outcome, or the promise, right? The outcome of that is that now you've got a systematic way of generating X number of qualified appointments every single week or every single month in your business. And it is predictable, and you can measure the ROI, and you can manage the client relationship, and you've built a database of prospective customers who are interested in what you have to do. And this is going to maximize your opportunity to get clients, to build a client base, and also build a marketing channel of people who are interested in the product category that you offer. So we go from, this is the problem, we have a framework, and this is the outcome and the problem. So we now know what problem we're solving. What is the real problem we're solving? So the key here is the offer, right? So we've got one problem. One problem is actual qualified appointments, not qualified leads. The actual appointments is the problem. The qualified appointments, not leads. Leads is easy. Appointments a little bit more specific, right? So, and maybe a number, a specificity of a number, right? 10 to 15, 10 to 30 appointment opportunities, right? In the business. So we're speaking, we understand what the problem is. Now we need to speak to the offer. So the offer is perhaps a demonstration of the system. That could be one offer. Let me teach you a proven path to maximize your opportunity to have a qualified appointment in your business. Would that be something useful to you? That's an offer, right? If you're doing email marketing services, would it be useful to have a totally automated marketing system, one that educates, nurtures, and invites people to buy your product or service? Would that be useful for your business if I was selling sales automation or email marketing, right? If I was selling AdWords, right? Imagine we could actually only target buyers who are interested in the product category you have. Can I show you a system where we can minimize your ad spend, get a better conversion rate with people who are interested in what you have to do, and optimize a campaign so you're only talking to people who are interested in what you have to offer in the marketplace? Are you interested in running an ad campaign like that, right? That's an offer, right? If you're doing a funnel, maybe you're building the actual process, or maybe you're a web developer. Hey, do you want a website that actually generates and converts clients, builds a database of customers, brands your message effectively, gives people a proven path to follow into your sales process so that you have a functioning website that is designed to be the cornerstone of your market, where you attract, you engage, and you convert customers? Would that be something that would be useful to you? Yes or no? There is your one offer, right? There is an offer for a web developer. So what I've done is I've literally created 4 offers, 4 different offers. If I was doing search engine optimization, right? What's the problem in search, right? There's 2 areas in the challenges in search: the strategy for visibility and conversion of the visitor to the website. So maybe I'll sit and say, hey, you want to be found, but you also want to make sure that you're converting those visitors into sales. So if we had a proven methodology and a path for a visitor to go from visiting to actually engaging in your sales process and buying, would that be useful to you? There's another offer for SEO, right? So I've literally crafted 6 offers in this process. So we've got a problem that we're solving, whatever that one problem is. We need to articulate what the consequence or what the impact of that problem is and why it's important to solve the problem. That's a problem. Our offer is related to, hey, would you like to see how to get this fixed? Let me teach you, let me show you, let me demonstrate to you a proven path that either makes you first choice, gives you a system that you can actually account and measure and quantify a direct response, a direct return on investment from your campaigning. We have a very clear offer, right? One problem, one offer. So we have the problem, we have the offer to solve that problem, right? The second thing is the one avatar piece, right? Who? Now, most of us get caught up in this. Most of us get caught up in the find the niche and all that sort of stuff. I've spoken many times about how to find niches. In fact, I think I did a training on this a couple of weeks ago. But the whole avatar is who will benefit the most. For me, I would be making a list of the types of businesses that would benefit the most, right? I would make a list, like these types of businesses would benefit from, they have this problem. This problem is a real problem for them because I know they're experiencing a problem because they're already buying ads, or they're spending money on advertising, or they need to redo their website, or their SEO is crap, right? They're not being found, or they're not being visible, right? So I know that there's a problem, and I know that if I can agitate or exacerbate, who do I solve this problem for? The avatar, the who, right? So that's what we want to do, right? Who has this problem? We need to now make a list. Now, I'm not suggesting the first thing that I would do is, do I know anybody that I can solve that has this problem right now that I can solve? That's my number one go-to strategy. Who do I know right now? Who can I connect with? Or who do I know who knows somebody? Who do I know who knows somebody who has this problem, right? That's my first list. Familiar or connected. Familiar or connected. Those are my first connections. My third list is, who would I like to work with, right? Who do I know has this problem? Who would I like to work with? So if you want to work with Facebook, if you're doing Facebook advertising, then sell to people who are already doing Facebook ads. Don't sell to people who are not doing Facebook ads, right? Or if people are doing Google ads, then you can offer Facebook ads because they're already spending money on advertising online. It's not a big stretch to go from Google to Facebook, right? If you're doing AdWords, sell to people who are already selling ads. Go to locations or the types of businesses you believe you can get a result for. Type in their business name and location, accountants, Atlanta, Georgia, right? And there'll be probably 7 ads on the front page of Google for accountants in Atlanta that you can target. And I'll guarantee you what you want to do is pick the companies that are running their ads to a homepage. They're the people you should be putting on your list, because you know they're running an unoptimized campaign. You know that they're wasting money, right? It's not going to a direct offer. It's not going to a call to action. It's going to a homepage that actually isn't very clear about getting people to pick up the phone and call or make an appointment. There is no the strategy's wrong. So that's an easy mark to go to say, hey, right now, you're wasting money on ads. And let me tell you why. There's no call to action on the other end. Somebody's looking for you and they don't know what to do when they get there. So what they're doing is they're swiping right. And if this isn't mobilized on a mobile phone, because that's where most people are looking, then you've even got more problems, because if I'm having to pinch and scroll to figure out where to contact you, I'm literally going to swipe right. I'm going to do a Tinder on you, right? So that's an avatar. Who is already spending money on what you have to offer? Who is spending money on marketing? Who has that problem? That's the avatar. The conversion method, right? One conversion method. Your conversion method is to demonstrate, to teach. We call it a strategy session. I would call it a scaling or business development marketing plan, or give it a different naming convention. But this will be your process that you help people through that sales cycle to go, is this something, based on what you're looking at right now, this is something you need to do now. You can afford to pay the investment. You've got the money to pay for it. You need to do, you're very clear about this being a problem that needs to be solved, right? You're able to make that decision, and you don't need to think about it. You need to go ahead, right? So we're qualifying through our conversion process. What is your conversion method? Your conversion method is to teach people or demonstrate the path, the proven path that solves the problem. That is your conversion methodology, right? And so now, in fact, what we've done in literally 20 minutes is we've devised a plan to convert 1 to 2 clients in the next 14 days. We need to build a list of our offer to about 12 people to close those 1 to 2 deals. So it's 12 people we've got to engage, right? We've got to deliver our offer in some way to them, whether we're going to email it to them or do a video or whatever you're going to do, deliver our offer to them. And then we need to follow that offer up, right? We've identified who we solve the problem for, and we need to start that conversation. Now, out of the 12 people that we're speaking to, we're hopefully going to get 3 or 4 people who agree to take the next step to say, yeah, it would be really useful for us to solve this problem, right? And from the 3 or 4 people you speak to, your goal is to ask this question. This is really cool. You can either do it for yourself, or would you like to see what it looks like for our team to set this up for you and manage and have this running for you, right? So it's a really simple thing. You like the idea of this? Yep. If we did this, what do you think is going to happen? Good things are going to happen, right? The impact is going to be great. We're going to get a result where this is over and above what we're doing right now. This is better than what we're doing right now. Great. So the impact is going to be positive, right? So the question is this something you want to do now, or you want to just put this off and we've wasted our time? Oh no, we kind of need to do this now. Well, you've got a choice. You can either, with all your experience and knowledge of what I've just shared with you, you can just go and set this up yourself. You want to do that? Or would you like to see what it looks like to work with us, and we'll just set this up for you and manage and help you with this process? Would you like to see what that looks like? Yeah, great. So let's be really clear. Your investment to do something is going to be X amount of dollars. You can afford to do that? Yep. But at the end of the day, if we've answered all your questions, if we've provided a brief and plan that's going to help you with the outcome, I guess the only thing we're going to say is, can you give me a definitive no? Or is it okay if it's not a definitive no and you like the idea, we can work together and put this into place? Are you cool with that? Yep, great. You're going to make a decision, right? Anybody need to be in that decision-making process? Partner, wife, husband, right? Whoever, right? They need to answer those questions. They need to have their questions answered as well. So they're satisfied and they agree that this is something they need to do. Anybody like that? No, we're good. Is there anything that would stop you knowing that you can put this into place? Anything other than you can think of that will stop you from going ahead? No? Great. Now you've got a sale. Now I know I've just simplified that entire process, right? So the 5 whys, one problem, only one problem. The offer, one offer, right? The avatar, who's going to benefit the most from this, right? The conversion method, demonstration, show a proven path, demonstrate the outcome, right? Problem, framework, promise, the outcome, right? The plan, you've got a plan. So that's as simple as it gets. Every single person's either on here right now, watching the training right now, or anybody that's watching the replay of this, I've literally mapped out for you exactly what you need to do to speed up the process to generate a client, right? So another methodology or another way, and I've got a few people who have been asking some questions here. Please repeat that sales automation offer again, Sahel. I'm trying to remember what I said 15 minutes ago, Sahel, but essentially it kind of, at the end of the day, you have a strategy. You need a correct strategy. That strategy is designed to, obviously we've got a mechanism. We're going to advertise and promote or put that strategy out there to target our client. Our client's journey through that process is they'll go to a landing page that captures their details and information, or provides them with a direct instruction to take action. And from there, hopefully we're collecting a database of customers. We're then making it easy. We're answering questions. We're showing people the next logical step in the sales process. Book an appointment into our calendar automatically. Once they book an appointment, we have a system to make sure that they are automatically followed up, so that they actually make sure that they show up to the appointment. So you've got a show rate. And then from there, you've got the ability, you're building a database of customers to nurture, build a relationship who have an interest in your product or process. This is a sales funnel, basic lead funnel, right? Through the process. That's all you're doing in this structure. So from there, right, that's the framework. That's how you solve the problem, right? The promise is what happens when you have the system, right? What are the tangible outcomes? You've got appointments. You've got an automated system that is designed to do the very thing you want it to do, and that is book appointments for clients who are interested in buying your product or service, taking the next step. You've got the capability to build a database. You've got the ability to measure and quantify your marketing so you can see an end result. And so you know that you can actually scale and improve and generate more revenue and build your business incrementally, predictably, month on month, year on year, right? As long as you're managing the strategy. Right? So all these outcomes, which are all positive outcomes, right? So my question often to people when I look at the outcomes, I'll say, great, do you have this outcome right now in your business? If you did, would that be helpful? Yes or no? Yes. Do you have this outcome? Do you have a way to nurture, re-offer, retarget, re-engage, right? Educate? Are you doing this right now effectively in your business? No? Okay, but if you were to do that, what would happen to your sales? Well, we'd make a bucket load of sales, a ton of sales. Great. So that would be useful to have. Yes. Yep. Okay. Next level. Right now, can you directly measure the ROI on your campaign and marketing? Can you see where a customer comes from, what the journey is, what the interaction is, what the timeframes are, what the sales cycle is, the investment to client acquisition? Do you have that right? No, don't have that. What would happen if you actually could see that? What do you think would happen? That would be freaking awesome. My business would go through the roof, right? I can actually forecast, I can manage better, I can scale because I've got customer acquisition. Great. Thing to have now or thing to think about later? What do you think is important here? Important to have that now, right? So I could literally sit down with any business, ask a question. Do you do this? Yes or no? Do you do this? Yes or no? No. Do you do this? Yes or no? No. And it'll be like, no, 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 right? So you do acquire customers, you have no way of tracking and measuring effectively. So no forecasting, no key metrics that you're performing to, right? You're ambiguous about the cycle or the sales cycle and the process. And so essentially the business is left up to the gods. There's no control, right? So there's the very core function, one of the core functions is to generate leads. The next core function, nurture those leads into a sales opportunity. The next core function is conversion, right? The most important thing for the lifeblood and the growth of your business. Do you have these things? No, 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 no. What I've just shared with you is a really simple way to get into the market, right? By having this type of discussion or asking these types of questions, because the impact of that to a business is quite significant if you don't have these things in place, right? The impact is very, very significant. So that's some of the structure. If you've got a question here, I know there's a whole bunch of people here. If you can hear me right now, just type one on the keyboard so I know that you can actually see and hear me right now. Just type one so I can see that. We've got a few people saying one on one. If you were to share with me the takeaway or the best takeaway you've had so far, feel free to type it in the chat. What have you taken away from what I've shared in the last 27 minutes in terms of this process or this structure? Does it give you some clarity? What have you learned in what I've just shared? That would be great if you can share that with the group here. Only a couple of people are responding here on their keyboards to let me know that they can hear and see this. So I'm assuming the rest of you can, or at least I'm hoping the rest of you can. So here's the thing, right? So it was like 111, right? We've got a few people. So takeaway, if you're here, of all the things you just heard, what was the takeaway that you have in what I've just shared? What was the thing that stood out to you in what I've just shared? So I love the clarifying questions. Do you have this solution right in your business right now? If you had it, what do you think would happen or what the impact would be? Sahel says like the 5 ones to simplify. Yeah, that's awesome. So thank you, right? So yeah, that's what this is designed to do, right? We get our heads into this game that we're trying to play. It is so easy to get sidetracked. That's exactly right. It is so easy to get sidetracked. You can imagine if you could put this up on a board, the 5 ones, right? This is the problem we're solving right now. This is the offer. Who are we offering this to? How many people? And like write the names of all the people that you've offered this to. And then how do you interact? Like what's the feedback? So you can actually see that you're progressively engaging with this type of structure. This will get you to sales much faster. This will get you to sales much faster. Now, I'm going to share my iPad because I want to share, I guess, another, what we call the methodology, remove their nose. Yeah, absolutely. Another methodology that I'm just going to share my iPad here. So, so just give me a thumbs up if you can see my iPad on the screen, right? All right. So this methodology that I'm going to be sharing with you is a methodology called like the fastest path to cash, right? And essentially, the fastest path to cash is if we look at the objective and we looked at the desired result. Right, so over here, you've got the not happy face, and over here, you got the smiley face, right? In this structure here, right? And what happens is we have a journey, right? And along this journey is a path to the outcome. This is the same journey for us. Our objective right now, not having a client. Our desired result, have a client. No client, client, right? So what has to happen in between to getting there, right? What is the thing that we've got to do? So we've got to identify the problem, right? That's a P for problem, right? We've got to make the offer, right? We've got to look at the engagement as part of this process, right? And so if I was to break this down another way, so what is our connection strategy, right? What is our connection strategy? What is our creative offer? Right? What is our conversion strategy? That's over here. And the last one is, what is our relationship strategy? Right? The last one over here is our relationship strategy. Right? So if I was to, so essentially we've got an objective, no clients. Your client has a problem. What is the problem? That's the objective, right? We've got to solve that problem, right? Well, what's the process, right? Well, we've got to connect. We've got to have a creative offer. We have to have an engagement process, a conversion process, sorry. That should be a conversion process. And we should have a relationship process. That's essentially the pathway to this outcome. So if I was to, let's say, call this the fastest path to cash, and if I was to, let's say we're drawing this diagram here, right? This is a diagram we're showing here. So this is our connection strategy, right? This is our creative offer. This is our sales conversion strategy, right? And this is our relationship strategy, right? So let's talk about our connection strategy, right? Our connection strategy would be things like LinkedIn. It could be a cold email. It could be Facebook ads. It could be direct mail. It could be webinar. Oh, sorry. Direct mail, cold outreach, lead magnet. Right? So that's something that, what is our connection strategy? There could be like 100 ways to connect, right? There could be networking, there could be joining other people's Facebook groups, there could be podcasting. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do as part of a connection strategy, right? So then what's our creative offer, right? Our creative offer could be a roadmap. It could be a cheat sheet. It could be an explainer video. It could be some training, right? It could be a case study. So what is our creative offer to hook people in through our process, right? Now, what would be our sales conversion strategy, right? So a sales conversion strategy might be a lunch and learn. It could be a webinar. It could be a live. It could be a Facebook Live, right? It could be what else could we do? We could do. We could provide a strategy session. Right? We might have a product launch, a PLF, product launch formula. Let's just, so we might educate for 4 days, and then at the end of the 4 days, here's where you buy our stuff, here's where you get what we do, right? So we might do a product launch. So that would be our sales conversion methodology, right? Now, our relationship strategy might be retargeting videos. It could be phone follow-ups, so phone calls. It could be nurturing sequences. Right. It could be join my Facebook group. So these are our nurturing, right? So if I was looking at, I'm going to, because there's so many things that we could be doing. Some of us are doing all these things, right? So for example, and if I was going to, I'm going to do a little bit of coloring in here. Let's pick green as the color, right? So maybe, and I'm going to, yeah. So maybe I will do cold email, right? And with my cold email, I'm going to send an explainer video, and I'm going to invite people into a strategy session, right? And we're going to do some retargeting videos to get people through the process. So now all I've got is I have one path, right? That's it. I'm just going to do cold email. My conversion or my offer is an explainer video. My offer from that explainer video is hop on a strategy session with me, and to nurture that relationship or indoctrinate, I'm going to send retargeting videos to that person. So this is my fastest path to sales opportunities. That's essentially what I'm doing in this process, right? So at the conversion, at the connection strategy, what are all the ways you can connect, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, cold outreach, what are you doing, right? At the conversion of the creative offer, how are you going to deliver your offer? What are you going to do in the offer? What is the offer, right? What is the mechanism, right? At the sales conversion level, what is your strategy to convert the sale? What is that process, right? And then your relationship strategy, how do you continue maintaining that relationship? And so if you only had to build 4 pieces, right, all you have to do is dial in an email campaign. How many emails we've got to go out? What's the mechanism, right? What are we emailing people? What are we going to look at? They're going to download something. They're going to watch something. They have to fill in a form. What is it they've got to do? What's the call to action? How do we help them, right? So we might be offering a strategy session or a scale plan or whatever, right? And then we have our ability to build a relationship, to indoctrinate, because lead nurture is a critical part of us generating appointments. This is the 4th step in the process, right? So that's, if we look at this scenario here, we have an objective, we have a desired result. We have a process that we follow. We connect, we offer, we have a sales process, and we build a relationship. And ultimately that turns into a customer in terms of what we do. So that's essentially the model, or that's essentially a much more simplified model. So if you've got questions, please ask. I'm just going to stop sharing here for a second. Wherever my mouse is, stop sharing. Get back to me. If you've got a question, feel free to ask said question. Happy to do that, right? If you want me to help you, you want me to unmute and I can talk you through strategy. Sergio, good to see you here. We've got a whole bunch of people here joining me. I'll see some faces here, some familiar people. Brian, good to see you here. Chris, Navi, Oscar, good to see you here. Question. If you've got questions, please ask. I'm happy to take them, because at the end of the day, the idea is to progress as quick as possible to a client. We've just made a plan to go get 1 to 2 clients in the next 14 days. 1 to 2 clients in the next 14 days. If we follow this process and methodology, all of you should be able to close a deal within the next 14 days, or 2 deals within the next 14 days. If you have a question that I can answer for you right here on this training, and a whole bunch of people are joining me here. Those who are watching this replay, please type in your questions wherever you're seeing the replay. I'm happy to get back to answering those questions as well. But for those who have joined me here at businessunleashedlive.com on this Zoom call, if you've got a question that you would like me to answer, please type in the chat section and I'm happy to answer the question. Or if the capability to unmute, just say yes and I will unmute you, and then we can answer the question directly and you can get some coaching on here with me directly on this call. So if you've got a question, ask. If you don't have a question, then I'm going to say, hope this was cool, and I'm going to get out of here. So any questions, please do ask a question. If you don't have any questions, I can't help you. All right. So this becomes the awkward silence that people have on Zoom calls, the awkward silence. Nobody's got a question. All right. So something that I'm doing with my consulting champions at the moment, I'm just going to share my screen for a second here. Something that I'm doing right now is we work on a game plan of 3 to 5 clients in a 45-day period. 3 to 5 clients in a 45-day period. What I'm actually, if people are interested in seeing what a game plan like that looks like, and actually open to generating 3 to 5 clients in the next 45 days, then either scan this QR code and it'll directly take you to how to book some time with me. Or if you want to go to gameplanunleashed.com. Now, I want to explain to you what's in a game plan. Number one, I want to be able to actually craft an offer, a focus for you, right? I want to put a plan into place. I want to break down your sales conversion process to get those clients. We're going to identify a target market. We're going to identify where these customers are very, very quickly. We're going to actually get an actively engaged list as quickly as possible. And then you've got to have a methodology to go and close a client. So if you want this from me, if you'd like to experience what it's like to have a proper game plan to generate 3 to 5 clients in the next 45 days. By the way, if your average sale is anywhere between 2 to 3 grand, this essentially will add between $100,000 and $150,000 worth of annualized revenue in your business. So that's what this game plan is designed to do. If you're interested, then I would either scan the QR code or just go to gameplanunleashedrightnow.com, book in that time, have a game plan with me personally. Normally, I do this with our scale specialists who do this, but I'm actually wanting to go through this process with a few people. It's super rewarding for the people that I work with in my coaching programs, and we do this strategy. But if you want something very specific to go and nail 3 to 5 clients in the next 45 days, book in this game plan. I would highly recommend you book the game plan in. I'm literally going to craft your offer. I'm going to literally give you a target audience, and I'm going to literally tell you exactly what to do to go and convert the client. If that's something for you, then just go to gameplanunleashed.com or scan the QR code, and that QR code is going to take you to where you can get that time. If you have any questions, we had somebody ask a question actually. I know, Oscar, you're booked in tomorrow. Thank you. Good. It'll be good to see you tomorrow. Sahel, Chris, those who are on here, Jason, I highly recommend that you grab one of these slots. I've just opened my time up over the next couple of days to have a chat to a few people to move them through the process. So looks like there's no questions, which is cool. If you haven't already, go and scan the code, or just go to gameplanunleashed.com, and that will take you to exactly the same place. And then what we're doing is we're doing a game plan for 3 to 5 clients within the next 45 days in terms of your business. So with that, hopefully this was cool. Fastest path to cash, the 5 whys, simplifying the focus. The thing is if you take away what I've shared today and you actually apply it and you look at that whole concept on a daily basis, I'll guarantee you're going to get more than 1 or 2 clients over the next 30 days. But with that, I want to thank you for hanging with me. I hope this is really useful. If you are in the Facebook group or the YouTube channel, I'd love to hear your comments or your thoughts about this concept. Other than that, I'll see you on the Batch channel again. So keep an eye out for our emails, keep an eye out for our posts. If you're not in the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group, I'd highly recommend you jump on the Consulting Unleashed Facebook group because I will be posting these videos and trainings in there as well. So with that, we've got a few people asking some questions in the chat. It's showing up on YouTube, yes. We will be making sure that for some reason our live stream is having some fun. But yes, we'll make sure that all the channels will have a copy of this training. So with that, thanks for hanging with me. If you haven't already, scan the barcode or go to gameplanunleashed.com. And the whole goal is 3 to 5 clients. So with that, thanks for hanging with me, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you on the interwebs.